Shalom, Israel. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone, and peace, salutation, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Shalom. I'm going to play this quick clip on the screen, and it's something that I seen in the headlines, and it's due to the, the farming that's going on out here in California, because nationwide there's a farming crisis going on right now. But here, this is going into here in California, dealing with the farmers due to the labor shortage, due to the ICE and the deportation, the so-called migrants. A lot of them work, out there on the farms, dealing with the crops. And we know the grocery store and the farming, the farmers, they go hand in hand. So, this, is going to cause a major disruption, dealing with the food supply and in your grocery stores. Your produce, your vegetables, fruits, things like that. Your milk, your dairy. This is going on nationwide here in the U.S., man. A lot of the, you got a lot of the Northern Kingdom, out there doing the so-called Hispanics, Latinos out there dealing with the farming, the agriculture, and the Northern Kingdom is excellent. Their work is outstanding, dealing with the crops, and the agriculture, but. This place is finished, man. A famine is coming. A famine is coming, and we know this is going to be a man-made, manufactured famine that's coming. But I'm gonna play this, and I got a couple scriptures, and I'll get out of here.
Been on the home ranch ever since,
with the 5th generation already part of the family company.
Today it's primarily stone fruit. We've gone a little bit into the citrus just to diversify.
The Peters are unique. They don't just grow and pick the fruit. They also pack and ship, an operation that relies on hundreds of employees throughout the year.
Labor prices are really difficult for us. An example, so our minimum wage is $16.50. When we compete against Georgia, their minimum wage is $7.25. So it's under half of what we have to pay our people. So we just don't have a margin of error if there's something wrong with the crop, if we have a weather event. It stings us a lot harder.
Peter says one of the biggest misconceptions about the migrant labor in California. People think they aren't talented or skilled, but Peters argues they're both.
So we have rings, and the supervisors have these rings. And what we'll do is we'll open them up to the size of fruit that we want picked. And they will pick a few samples off the tree, show them what sits on the ring, what goes through the ring, and the guys will know, okay, pick this, don't pick that, and then they'll just go from limb to limb, tree to tree, and they will pick the size that we're requesting by the rings.
I mean, you look at the two biggest rings here, there's hardly any difference, but they can tell just by looking at the fruit which size this is?
Correct. They can tell the difference between the two. That's how skilled they are. So when people say they're replaceable and you can get H2A people or you can get other people off the street, no, it doesn't work that way.
See? And so, there's a heavy labor shortage, dealing with the crops and this agriculture out there on the farms. You see? Right along with, retail and these federal government workers and tech, all of that. But specifically we're going into the, dealing with the crops, the agriculture, man. Let me go here. This is good. This is gonna get very ugly, man. This is prophecy. Let me go here. Let me go here. This is This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. Ecclesiastes 12:3, it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. And who are the keepers of the house? These economists, man. Your CEOs of these different corporations and things like that. The writing is all over the wall. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, it says, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Right. The labor shortages. There's a mass, huge wave of job layoffs, man. See? The grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened. And these people, if you don't have the oil, man, the scriptures, they can't see. There's no future, man. And the real servants of the Lord understand what's going to happen to this place, the U.S. There's no hope here, man. There's no hope. It's over. And the people, it don't look good, man. They're going to lose their mind here, because it tell you in scripture that the days come when no man can work. That's coming. It says, but for the servants, we understand what this is all about. The Lord is destroying this place. And a good majority of our people, starting with our people, Jake, man, they love it in this place. But this place is through. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. And when the sound of the grinding is low, the grinding is getting low. The unemployment rate is soaring right now. It says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right. And we know music is getting is terrible. Is right now, the music right now in 2025 is trash, man. A lot of, with these different hip hop artists and different genres of music and stuff like that. It ain't what it used to be. Music is becoming terrible in the end. And this is just prophecy. This is prophecy, man. I'm gonna play a little bit more, and I got another scripture, and I'm out.
And those people will have no idea that small of a difference when we're asking them to pick a certain size.
A fix for immigration in ag has been a contentious topic in Washington. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins was asked about the administration's stance on mass deportation during a press conference at USDA in July.
Ultimately, the answer on this is automation, also some reform within the current governing structure. And then also, when you think about, there are 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. There are plenty of workers in America.
But that statement touched a nerve with Manuel Cunha. He's the president of the Nisi Farmers League, which represents 500 farmers and more than 75,000 farm workers. Cunha says he remembers when a similar strategy was tried before and failed.
It was tried in '98 in California with 10 counties. We had over in the 10 counties 100,000 viable people. They were going to do training, they were going to give child care services, and they were going to do transportation for all these people, because we had a big shortage in '98.
He says at that time, agriculture played a role of collection of applications and job orders. And out of the 77,000 possible workers, only 500 people applied.
3 actually went to work. One person went for half a day and said it was too hard to work. The next one went to work, claimed that this job, you couldn't find it, he didn't know where it was at. So that alone tells you from 100,000 people, and we screened everybody, and people that can walk, talk, handle, move, all of the great things failed.
He says if something similar was tried today, as Ag Secretary Rollins proposed, he fears the situation would be worse.
Yes, today The people are not going to do it at all. They're not going to go out and shovel concrete. They're not going to go pick peaches. They're not going to pick strawberries. They're not going to milk cows. Her staff, I think, has misguided her in saying that the welfare people or the aid can be the means solving. So we have a legal workforce in the United States, all citizens. No, sorry.